Hi everyone, this is Nate. I hope you are doing well. I'm really happy to have you around for this video. This video is a response to a request for questions that I put on my community page, and you've been amazing, coming with about 150 questions. And so I will use this video to answer some of your questions, not all of them, but I would say about 90% of them. Some of those that have received the most likes. And obviously, this video is for entertainment purposes only. And also, a big announcement is that at the end of this video, I will be announcing the two winners for the three questions email readings. That's what a contest or a draw of a based on a comment that was left on a 2025 prediction video or a 2025 follow-up predictions video. So I will be announcing the two lucky people who won respectively this reading. So this video, I will cover a lot of the topics that have been put on the community page. And then also I will do for members a follow-up later this week. So you can be aware of that coming as well. So starting a little bit with the situation in the US and Donald Trump. So there was a question of that I've seen many times. How far do you think he's going to go? And, will he stay in power the 4 years? What will really happen with his presidency? So I've always said that I see him staying, unfortunately, 4 years. Uh, this is what I see in my readings. I feel that the only reason why he would not stay the full 4 years would be some sort of severe health issue. You can see in my Grand Tableau video that I see a coffin at the end of the Lenormand cards. And so the coffin could indicate an ending, but most likely in the context of that reading, a health issue that would really make him not able to be there. So whether it's physically there but cannot continue being president or uh, being on the other side. So as I feel that at this moment, I know this is probably not a popular prediction, but I see him staying the 4 years unless severe health issue. But I've also said that towards the last 2 years, even if he stays in power, there would be a lot of influences from other people running the show, so to speak, kind of a lame duck president in a way. So I wanted to kind of share that yes, I feel that he will do his term unless a severe health issues. Another question is related to the interference of the election, again, for entertainment purposes only. The interference that we know existed, that the spirits have shown existed, will come up. I've always felt that the information will indeed come up, but it comes up late. We will be aware. I feel like some of the media's outlet, not all, will allow this information to be shared, but I don't see an impact in terms of making a change to the election. In other words, like I don't see him uncertified at this point. I don't feel like, they will let Kamala Harris be president or Joe Biden. I'm not saying that. I see, unfortunately, that there will be learnings. So fortunately, there will be learnings and prevention of some of those issues for the midterms, but it will not change the current path of the administration. A question came up will there be some Republicans that will resist Trump in the House? Yes, my answer is yes. I feel that there will be some resistance, but not a whole lot. I feel that by and large they will follow what they're told to do, and very few will resist. So that's what I see. Another question came up into 2028. What do I see? What happens after those 4 years? So clearly, I do feel that Trump wants one of his people to carry on, to carry the torch. I know that there's some discussions about, you know, him maybe considering that the Constitution says that, it's two consecutive terms. But no, I don't feel like that's the case. But in any case, he wants one of his to continue to be in power. And that goes back to some of the reading that I've done, where I feel like there's a lot of decisions right now within the Trump circle, within the Trump family. And I've seen that there's some debates and discussions regarding the will. And I get the sense that there will be a separation in terms of the will, in terms of the Trump legacy, if you want to call it this way. I see Ivanka getting the bulk of the money. Obviously, Melania, per her contract, which I've said she has a contract with him, will also get some money. But I really get the sense that the person who will inherit the whole MAGA movement, so as a legacy, will be Barron. And so I feel like those discussions are taking place right now in terms of his will, his legacy, the money, like I said, going to Ivanka, but the MAGA movement or anything related to the property, even though it's not his property, but related to MAGA and the dynasty, so to speak, will go with Barron. And you could feel also that Barron was put a little bit on the pedestal during the inauguration at the arena. And to me, that was also a sign that he's being groomed. What do I see coming up with all of this going on now? Definitely some protests, but the first thing you've seen is the justice system functioning, the other branch of government, where a lot of the um, orders, a lot of the executive orders are being stopped or being questioned or held temporarily. If you look at my predictions in 2020, in my 2025 predictions, you see that I would say that would be a fight between the power and the money of Trump and the justice system. And we're already witnessing this prediction as I feel that this is happening. I also see protests. I feel like we're going to see more protests in March as well. February, March, there will be more protests. But the justice system is already being doing its job, basically, trying to block and to temporarily freeze some of those executive orders and decisions. I also saw something on social media which I didn't fact check, but I believe is true, and it puts certain things in perspective. It's saying that during the first term of Trump, he issued over 200 executive orders. So this time there was 200 executive order plus, and during the first term there was also of over 200 executive orders, but only 5% have had a lasting impact. Most were reverse. So it's a lot of noise, but only 5% of those 200 executive orders ended up having a lasting impact. I want you to think about that as well, that a lot of those executive orders, some of them just say, oh, each department should look into these. There's no real hard requirements. It's a lot for show. And so if we look back and see only 5% were fully implemented, then what does that say of what's happening now? This is what, of course, some will be, and I am definitely not downplaying the impact of what's happening now, but all I'm trying to say is there is some pushback. That is true, that there is some pushback. There was a question about Joe Biden. Will he ever be appreciated for what he's done? Yes, if you look back in history and in the future years, you will see that he will be appreciated for his, you know, for resisting to Trump, to the first Trump legacy, to the first Trump administration. He came after and blocked and reversed himself a lot of what Trump wanted to do. Um, I'm moving on with the US economy. So, what do I see for the economy? I do see that the economy will be hit. Some of it is coming from inflation that I feel will come back. Some of it from the tariffs, even though the tariff is using the tariffs as a threat, but yet there will be some additional tariffs, not as much as what he's saying, but there will be some tariffs. It's also true that some of the deportations are making some people leave that were doing labor for a lower wage. So those two bring higher inflation, impact the economy, impact the stock market. I do see a drop. I do see a severe drop in the stock market, but not like 2018. There will be supply chain issues. There are already supply chain issues. And for example, that, for example, getting eggs is becoming more difficult because of the bird flu. Those are just examples of supply chain issues. And yes, if you look at my prediction video, I feel that there will be uh, restrictions due to viruses like the previous pandemic. And what I felt, two things, I don't know if it's what it is exactly, if this is the bird flu, but I see it connects with food and it connects with the environment. So breathing and our environment. So the difference is the connection with food. And so that's why I feel like it would be good to stock up a little bit of food. I'm not getting a strong timeline on it, so I'm not giving you a timeline. It could be late spring if I just intuit a little bit, but I'm not knowing that for certain. I just wanted to share what an immediate feeling was. Now, there was questions about the federal workers. Will they have to go back to work to the office? Yes, I feel that this has already been requested by the Trump administration, but there will be, or again, like I said, for the rest, a number of pushbacks and legal challenges. We know that there have been emails being sent asking people if they wanted to quit and get some money for quitting. I believe that doesn't stand very, very well with on the legal side, and most people that I've heard, suggest to really consider twice before accepting this kind of offer. I don't feel that the offer is actually positive or well binding. I feel like it doesn't have a strong trust in terms of looking at this offer. So be very careful. Uh, there was a question with federal workers be paid in cryptocurrency. I don't see that happening. There was another question with the savings by cutting the different agencies, where these savings will go. And a big part of those savings will go to the Department of Defense. That I do feel. Questions about Social Security. We saw that there was already an attack against, some of the social programs, Section 8, Medicare, etc. When it comes to Medicaid, Section 8, when it comes to Medicare, I know that there's a big question here. I do feel like they will try to attack Medicare, but I don't see an impact on the actual amount of pensions, but I do feel that there will be an attack against the cost of prescription drugs, and I believe that they're already doing that. I feel that some of the Biden policies are or will be reversed, and so yes, there might be an impact, if not already, to the cost of drugs. So something to be aware. Um, Questions about cyber attacks movements. Yes, I do see the United States receiving some severe cyber attacks. I see internet issues. I see the different administration possibly be under attacks from which could be of foreign entities such as Russia, etc. There was a question if I did see an issue with the debt ceiling and a government shutdown. No, I do feel that things are going to be worked through. So that's what I feel. Moving on a little bit to the international aspects here with Canada. So this is what I feel for Canada. There will be elections. I feel that the Conservative Party will win. I feel like it's going to be a minority government, or I feel like the assembly, the parliament will be split in a way that the conservative will not have necessarily the full powers. This is what that feels. There will be some level of tariffs between the US and Canada, not as much, again, that Trump said. And overall, I feel like the economy will be sluggish, will not really improve. It doesn't feel very strong. Question about the Germany. Do I see the AfD, which is the a far right party, winning? No, I don't see them winning, but I do see them coming likely second or doing very well. Ukraine, will there be an involvement, a direct involvement from NATO? No, um, but there will be continuous support until there's a peace deal. I feel like there will be a peace deal in 2024, and I see Musk involved in the discussions already between Putin and Trump. I do feel something that I've shared with you before, that Musk is being used for international affairs, like almost like a go-between. Very, very strange to me, which is not really in the scope of Doge, the new department. There was also a question about the Middle East. Will we ever know the number of people who died in Palestine? No, I feel this number, first of all, is hard to get, and I don't see it being publicized because I know it's significantly more than what's being told. I see a lot of development in Gaza. There's definitely the Trump administration, including Kushner, that are trying to use Gaza as a real estate for building properties, making money. That was something that slipped through a couple months ago, and they are clearly trying to use the territory of Gaza for luxury condo, house, what have you, which is very, very tragic. They are trying to move some of the Palestinians to other countries, and I feel like their dealings with maybe Qatar, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, who knows, to receive some populations. It feels very, very tragic thinking about it. Climate change, I do feel some natural disasters. I mean, that's just a repeat of what I saw. I feel that, unfortunately, in the LA area, I saw um, a mid-sized earthquake this year in the California area, in the Los Angeles area. Unfortunately, after the issues with the fires, I feel as we get closer to summer, there might be I would call it a significant earthquake. It feels like the weather is hot at that time, but in California, it can be hot in number of season. Greenland, I don't see Greenland ever coming back, not coming back, but going to the United States, getting under Trump. I don't feel that this is gonna happen. When it comes to New Zealand, I had quite a few questions about New Zealand. Will the economy improve? Yes, I feel like very slow economy improvement, but I feel like it will improve for what it was in 2024. Question about earthquake or natural disaster in uh, New Zealand. Okay, so I closed my eyes and was wondering if there was any area that was possible risk of earthquake, because I was feeling that there was a risk of earthquake. It didn't feel soon, so I was feeling more for 2026. The location I was seeing kind of in the middle on the east side. And to me, there was also a question, interestingly, was that on the Wellington area? And it feels like it might be. So I'm going to leave you with that, knowing that that's what it feels like. East side, the right side when you look at the map, and then it feels like in the middle, which might be Wellington, which, if I'm not mistaken, might have already had some systemic activity. I don't know. It's just intuitively what I got. Okay, now we are talking about something fun, which is who won the readings. So the first person that I drew randomly was Gail O'Brien 4280. Congratulations, Gail. And the second person was Diane Berger 5412. So congratulations as well. You won the prize. And here is another good news is I am doing another free reading for comments at the if you leave comments at the bottom of this video, and I will draw a name, maybe next week or within 10 days. So, Gail and Diane, please contact me in the email that I will leave in the description of this video. Congratulations, you each won a free reading, and good luck to all of you to post your comments, maybe additional questions, whatever you want to use, or feedback on this video in the description of this video, and you will be immediately entered for another drawing for a reading 3 questions with me. I hope this was helpful. I hope I answered most of your questions. I would say probably 90%. Some of them are not, either because I didn't have the time to read on it or I leave for another video. So thank you so much. And I will do a live at the end of the week for members. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful end of week. Thank you.